with blood. He became the ruler of Iraq through killing people, became the ruler of Baghdad by killing people, and established a city by iniquity, Baghdad. Behold, it is not of the Lord of hosts. Behold, is it not of the Lord of hosts that the people shall labor in the very fire, and the people shall weary themselves for vanity, for nothing? And I feel that that's talking about Unscom. They were there, and now they're out of there, and it's all been for nothing, because now Saddam's giving his weapons of mass destruction again, hiding them, so it's all been for nothing. Since we pulled him out of there, we don't know what he's doing. All we did was just put him off 10 years. Now he can sneak whoever's in there, and it's all been for nothing, because now they're not in there. You could say, I don't have any weapons of mass destruction, because he's now found great hiding places for him. For the earth shall be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea. That sounds like universal salvation. That's definitely way future here. Woe to him that giveth his neighbor drink, that putteth thy bottle to him, and maketh him drunken also, that thou mayest look upon their nakedness. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. Well, what happened was, I think that what happened here, he goes into Kuwait, he finds out what has happened with what's going on up there, but then we go and knock him out and discover what he's been doing, and his nakedness is that he's hiding weapons of mass destruction. Could be wrong here, but that's what I think I'm getting here. Yeah, the cup of the Lord's hand, the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful shall be on thy glory. Okay. For the violence of Lebanon shall cover thee. In other words, there's going to be a Lebanization of Iraq taking place here. And that's going to be split up in 3 different spots. And the spoil of beasts which made them... See, the reason why we didn't help the Kurds and the Shiites in the first place, because Bush was afraid there was going to be a Lebanization of Iraq. Trouble is, it's going to happen anyway. The violence of Lebanon shall cover thee. Iraq is going to split up. It's going to become another Lebanon. And the spoil of beasts which made them afraid, because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land, of the city, Baghdad, I feel, of the city, and of all that dwell therein. What profiteth the graven image? The maker thereof hath graven it, the molten image, and a teacher of lies. But the maker of his work trusteth therein to make dumb idols. Woe unto him that saith to the wood, awake, to the dumb stone, arise, it shall teach. Behold, it is laid over with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in the midst of it. But the Lord is in his holy temple, that all the earth keeps silence before him. Okay, chapter 3. Now this, I feel, is like Jeremiah chapter 49. And all hell breaks loose here, and World War trace. So go ahead, can you hear it? A prayer of Habakkuk, the prophet, upon Shigionoth. O Lord, I've heard thy speech, and was afraid. O Lord, revive thy work in the midst of the years. In the midst of the years make known. In wrath remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Pertain, Selah. His glory covered the heavens, and earth was full of his praise. And his righteousness and his brightness was as the light. He had horns coming out of his hand, and there was the hiding of his power. Behold him with the pestilence, and the burning coals went forth at his feet. I think what's happened is, God says he's not going to meet us as a man. Well, I mean, during the rapture you'll be up there, but he's going to meet the people that are left behind as an atom bomb. And the pestilence at his feet, all in Iraq, boom, the pestilence stuff is blasted out when the bombs hit. He stood and measured the earth. He beheld and drove asunder the nations, and the everlasting mountains were scattered. The perpetual hills did bow. So it's gonna sound. It sounds like it's gonna be. Those bombs are gonna be really big. His ways are everlasting. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction, and the curtains of the land of Median did tremble. Was the Lord displeased against the rivers? Was thine anger against the rivers? Was thy wrath against the sea, that thou didst ride upon thy horses and thy chariots of salvation? In other words, I feel that when all the hell breaks loose, the chariots of salvation, rapture. So when this happens, going on over here, rapture too at the same time. That's why I think, my gosh, when this is going on with the rocket thing, ooh, rapture is near because of that. This scripture here, the chariots of salvation. Thy bow was made quite naked, according to the oaths of the tribes, even thy word. Salah. Thou didst cleave the earth with rivers. The mountains saw thee, and they trembled. The overflowing of the water passed by. The deep uttered his voice and lifted his hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their habitation. At the light of thine arrows, or the missiles, I feel, at the light of their missiles, they went. At the shining of thy glittering spear. When an atom bomb goes off, you can't even see that there was a sun because it's so bright. It's like everything becomes dark, yeah, because it's so bright. The atom bomb going off, or H-bomb. Thou didst march through the land in indignation. Thou didst thresh the heathen in anger. Thou wentest forth for the salvation of thy people. So, in other words, the rapture will take place, and the Israelis, children of Israel, and the Jews, some of them, most of them, will be protected here. They'll be saved. So there'll be a mixture of destruction and salvation going on at the same time when all this takes place. Rapture and protection of Israelis, children of Israel, and all this hell breaking loose at the same time. Yeah. Yeah, thou wentest forth in for the salvation of thy people, even for salvation with thine anointed. And I feel the anointed are the Jews, and yeah, thy people are. Well, excuse me. Thou wentest forth with the salvation for the salvation of thy people, which I feel are the Jews, even for the salvation of thine anointed, which could be the Christians. Thou woundest the head of the house of the wicked, by discovering the foundation unto the neck, Salah. Thou didst strike through with the staves the head of his villages. They came out as a whirlwind to scatter me. Their rejoicing was as to devour the poor secretly. Thou didst walk through the sea with thine horses, through the heap of great waters. When I heard, my belly trembled. My lips quivered at the voice. Rottenness entered into my bones, and I trembled in myself, and that I might rest in the day of trouble. Day of trouble, I feel, is tribulation. When he cometh up unto the people, he will invade them with his troops. When he cometh up unto the people, he'll invade them with his troops. I think the troops are the Kurds. Although the fig tree shall not blossom, neither shall fruit be in the vines, the labor of the olive shall fail, and the fields excuse me, and the field shall yield no meat. The flock shall be cut off from the fold, and there shall be no herd in the stalls. And it sounds like tribulation to me. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will joy in the God of my salvation. The Lord God is my strength, and he will make my feet like hinds' feet, and he will make me to walk upon mine high places, the chief singer on my stringed instrument. In other words, Habakkuk is going to go around with little hoopies on his feet. Little hoopies on his feet. Anyway, I think those scriptures I read you, those chapters, are about to be fulfilled if we start helping the Kurds and the Shiites overthrow Saddam. That's what I think that's talking about there. Anyway, I'm done for now. Over and out. Bye. What I'm about to do now is give you a summary of what's going on here. In other words, I'm going to try to condense this thing. Yeah, hit even more now to the point of what kind of makes me think that Jeremiah 50:51 and plus Habakkuk is talking about Iraq and our time. So I'm going to try to get really close to the point here. Yeah, I'm not going to... I've read all of those chapters completely. Jeremiah 50:51 and Habakkuk 1, 2, and 3. But this time I'm just going to concentrate on those certain verses that made me go, whoa! So, yeah. Got me going, my gosh. So I'll start here. Alright. Okay. I'll get closer here. But first, I'm going to turn the TV off. You know why? Because it's distracting me. I just keep on looking at myself. So, TV. TV goes off. Okay. Alright. In those days and at the time, saith the Lord, the children of Israel shall come, they and the children of Judah together. Going and weeping they shall go and seek the Lord their God. To me, that has been fulfilled with the Jews return to Israel. Of course, the children with the Jews to returning to Israel. Of course, the children of Israel, which I feel are also Kurds and other people who have, some Israeli blood in them, they haven't come in there yet, but I think that will come later. But so far, it has been fulfilled that Israel is now back in, the Jews are now back in Israel. Okay. And now this makes me think, this is talking about the Kurds here. My people have been a lost sheep. Their shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away on the mountains, and Saddam did that during when the Kurds uprised. He sent the helicopter gunships after them. They went up on the mountains. Of course, they've always been up in the mountains, but really put them up there. They have gone from mountain to hill. They've forgotten their resting place. The reason why they've forgotten their resting place, this is not talking about Jews, I think, because the Jews realize that Israel is, hey, there. They never forgot that. But the people who have Israeli blood, which I feel are Kurds, they don't realize that they have Israeli blood in them. They think they're just mostly Medes. And they are. They forgot the resting place, which is Zion. Yeah. Okay. All that have found them devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Okay, let's see what else I can find here. Oh yeah, now this I feel is also has been fulfilled during the Gulf War, and even sometime even after that, with the cruise missiles hitting them and stuff like that. And I'll tell you why here. It says, "For lo, I'll raise and cause to come against Babylon," which I feel is Iraq and Baghdad, an assembly of great nations from the north country. That I feel that the north country could be either the Kurds, Kurdistan. It'll probably be an enclave up there. It'll be made into like a little place there to help get the opposition going, or it could be the United Nations held